Reports came out over the weekend from SNY's Ian Begley that there are mixed feelings inside the front office for the New York Knicks on Julius Randle and his fit with the Nova Knicks. We're going to break that down on today's show as you're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports, and I am your host, Marshall Green. Mixed feelings about Julius Randle. I thought that was interesting. He also mentioned Begley saying that extension talks are not at the forefront for either the New York Knicks or Julius Randle, which tell me they are not. Neither side is ready to commit to a long-term agreement to either A, be a part of this organization, B, be a free agent when the season ends, and that they want to see this season unfold as Randle is coming off of two major injuries in back-to-back seasons. With the extension talks really on the afterburner, that makes me question if he is going to be a part of this team long-term. He can sign that extension, which would pay him $181.5 million over the next 4 seasons on August 3rd. We've heard a lot of talk about Randle. Will he get dealt? Will he not get dealt? Why are the Knicks interested in Karl-Anthony Towns? Why has Precious Achiuwa not been re-signed? He can really put all this to bed by putting pen to paper on August 3rd. But I question, what does Jalen Brunson taking that major discount mean for Randle and what he is asking for? And with rumors coming out that Mikal Bridges is also ready to take a team discount, how much pressure does that put on Julius Randle to do the same? We'll continue to talk about it, but let's go to this quote from Begley where he said this. On Randle, some in the organization believe that Randle can fit well with this group and think that Randle's play in January after the OG Anunoby trade supports that point. Others are concerned about Randle going into this pivotal season with free agency looming and the challenges that may present. In addition, some decision makers aren't as bullish about the general fit of the current group. You don't love hearing that your organization, after going all in for Mikal Bridges and trading the control of 6 first-round picks and giving over $200 million guaranteed to OG Anunoby, that you are worried about the roster construction and the fit in the future of Julius Randle being here. And to be honest with you, even if you're the biggest Julius Randle supporter in the world, where I feel like I'm in the middle, when he plays good, we talk good. When he plays bad, we talk bad. You have to be worried about his fit, but more importantly, what about when we get to May or June of next season? Will he be able to thrive in the playoffs? The playoff struggles have to be at the forefront of problems that are really concerning for the New York Knicks, on top of the fact he's had 2 major injuries and he's going to be 30 years old in the month of November. Had that major ankle injury that required off-season surgery that pretty much made him useless in the playoffs against the Heat and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Fast forward next year, he dislocates that right shoulder, tries to get it right by going through a long rehab stint, unable to do so, and then has to have, once again, major surgery that ultimately ends his season. So 2 seasons in a row at 28 and 29 have been cut short due to injuries. And unless you're LeBron James, the older you get, the more likely you are going to be hurt. And that is just how this works out. Look, the Knicks have gone all in. This was the summer where they got all their chips at the table and they pushed them to the middle. They have every right to be worried about the long-term fit of Julius Randle as a Knick. You worry about the on-court fit. Where does he slot in next to Brunson, Bridges, and Anunoby on offense with DiVincenzo coming off the bench? Is he able to stay healthy? And does he just fit from an X's and O's standpoint? And really, does he gel with this new team? Something to monitor. What I do like to hear, though, is that Randle is ready to accept the challenge. Begley wrote this as well, saying, quote, Randle is excited about this Knicks team and believes they can make a run. He's looking forward to being back and healthy with this group. He thinks things can be special with Mikal Bridges. Also, his rehab from his shoulder surgery is going incredibly well at the moment. That's awesome to hear. I expect Julius to continue to attack that rehab and outwork almost anybody else in this league when it comes to that. He has shown that he is willing to do that. And you know what? Randle ain't no dummy either. He knows that this team is special. And on paper, the New York Knicks are a top 3 team in the NBA right now. But as we know, you don't win championships on paper and you don't stack W's on paper. But when you talk about a top 7, that consists of Jalen Brunson, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson, with Dante DiVincenzo and Josh Hart coming off the bench, alongside even a guy like Cam Payne and Tyler Kolek. And maybe you get something out of Keita Bates-Diop. And the Knicks are going to continue to add people. Maybe they re-sign Precious Achiuwa. There's no doubt about it that the Knicks are one of the most well-put-together rosters. And they're trying to win a championship now and in the future. And you have to worry about how does 30 fit next to the Nova Knicks and as well as OG Anunoby. We did see in the month of January that the Knicks were the best team in basketball in that 12-game stretch when Anunoby, Randle, and Brunson all played together. They were 11-1 when all three took the floor together. And they were blowing teams out in this stretch, winning by an average of 18.7 points per game. So not only were they winning games, they were beating the brakes off of teams. And not against the Charlotte Hornets and not against a bad group of teams. It was a tough schedule, and they got the best punch from everybody, and they gave everybody their best punch. They beat the Minnesota Timberwolves in their first game together by 6 points. They were a game away from getting to the NBA Finals. You beat the Philadelphia 76ers when Joel Embiid was healthy. You beat them by 36. You beat Nikola Jokic and the reigning NBA Finals champions by 38. And then before Jaime Jaquez slid up under Julius Randle, the Knicks beat them by 16. They were the best team in the NBA. You cannot ignore that. And I don't think you can ignore just the raw numbers either of Julius Randle prior to OG Anunoby becoming a Knick, and then with Anunoby with a Knick. You look at the 32 games this year where Randle played and Anunoby was not on this team. He gave you 23.6 points per game, 9.6 rebounds, giving you 5 assists, and the efficiency was solid, right? 47% from the field and 28% from three. But in those 14 games, you saw the game slow down. You saw the game become a little easier. Randle started to play more like a winning player. Made the right play at the right time. The efficiency went up. The points per game went up. The assists went up. And overall, the winning plays that he made continued to go up. But I will admit, it wasn't all rainbows with Julius Randle, OG Anunoby, and Jalen Brunson. He was still lackadaisical on defense. There were still times I'm like, dude, that's a terrible closeout. And that's the thing that really hangs me up on Randle the most. Can he ever give it all to this team to win a basketball game when it doesn't involve him being a top shot taker and shot maker? We're going to find that out. Begley also says this about Randle, quote, Randle knows what winning in New York means. It's part of the reason he signed with the Knicks in 2019. Randle sees this group as having a chance to get it done, and he wants it badly. That's partially why an extension isn't at the forefront for Randle right now. He understands the importance of adding a backup center to this Knicks roster, and he knows how important it is for team president Leon Rose and his front office to spend their time finding that backup big and building the best roster possible. Look, one ring is a New York Knick, and you're set for life. You never have to pull out the checkbook when you're in New York City ever again. I do want to call BS on that, though, for a second. We're not worried about a contract extension, Julius Randle, because we're worried about the backup center that the Knicks are trying to get. Yeah, miss me with that, my man. I think it's pretty obvious at this point. The New York Knicks are not ready to commit to Julius Randle after he struggled in the playoffs in 3 different series. He's turning 30 years old. There's obviously concern about the fit on this roster, and he's coming off 2 major injuries. I worry about the Knicks defense with Randle and Brunson on the floor. That's 2 negative defenders on the floor when closing minutes of intense ball games. I'll always appreciate Jalen Brunson's effort on defense, but he's limited. He's extremely limited. And he is going to be attacked and targeted by opposing offenses. I'm not sure that you can have 2 negative defenders on the floor in closing minutes and be an NBA champion. The thing is, Randle has the athletic ability. Randle has the skill and the strength and the IQ to be a good defender. He's 6'8", 230. He can move his feet. There's no reason he shouldn't be able to defend. But if you just go watch the tape, man, it's the lack of willingness that really just upsets me. I worry about the Knicks defense with Randle and Brunson on the floor. And can Julius Randle ever be a star in his role? The Knicks don't need Randle to average 30 and 10 and 7 anymore. We don't need you scoring 42 for us to just to lose by 5. Make the right play at the right time. Put the team's success first. Not saying he hasn't, but I think that would look a little bit different. Because if you go back and watch the games in January like I did, the defense was not all that much to fall in love with. My question to you is this. Can the New York Knicks win a championship? Can they add a third ring to this franchise's existence with Julius Randle on this squad? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I've said this once, I've said this twice, I've said it a million times. If the 3-time All-Star, if the 2-time All-NBA, if regular season Julius Randle shows up in the playoffs, the Knicks will win it all. Because if you have Brunson, who was a top 10 player in this league, OG Anunoby, one of the best wing defenders, a big difference maker in Mikal Bridges, Mitchell Robinson stays healthy. You have the firepower off the bench of Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo. You pair all that up with Julius Randle playing like an All-NBA player and an All-Star in the playoffs, you're going to be a very good team. But there's a reason we're asking this question. Because he hasn't done it yet, and according to Ian Begley, there are people inside the front office of the New York Knicks that are concerned about Julius Randle heading into this season. Make sure you are following me over on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. Hit me up over there. Let's continue the conversation. I'm not advocating for Randle to get traded. I do understand some shortcomings that he does have, and as long as there is talk from the big wigs out there, we're going to break it down on this channel. Subscribe and turn the notifications on.